think you have a higher quality. You do not want answers.
Okay, and 5, 4, 3, 2.
What's up, Heritage High School? I don't know where you are watching this from. Some of you we have virtually connected before, but if you don't remember, my name is Dr. Julia Garcia-Newroth, but y'all can just call me Dr. J. And I don't know where you are at right now, but I want you to just look at whatever screen you're looking at, and I want you to just nod your head and be like, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling ready. Whether you believe it or not, just say, you know what, I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling ready. Start to feel it. I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling ready. Because no matter where you're at, this moment matters. And I don't want to waste any of it. So I want to give a shout out to everybody here, all the leadership team, all the people behind these screens that you don't see right now. I'm sure you can recognize where I'm at. I'm on your home turf, which means some beautiful things are going to happen right now. We don't have a lot of time together, but I don't want to waste a moment. If you remember, I like to sometimes reintroduce myself with a little spoken word poetry. Something like, we are statistic breakers, dream makers, risk takers, and never fakers. We make the impossible possible, the improbable probable, the intolerable tolerable. We believe every student with a dream is completely unstoppable because we are true, doing what the world said we couldn't do. And you can do the same thing too. You just gotta stay true, the real you. So if you remember from last semester, don't forget to be true to yourself. Go ahead wherever you're at, you can throw up your true sign, you can just say true under your breath. But we're gonna be true today. In the short time we have together, even though it looks kind of weird and different because we're not in person, we're gonna show up fully. We're gonna make these moments together matter. And you know, everybody's talking about this new year. It's a new beginning. It's a new semester. Maybe it's a new you. But when we talk about new, for me at least, I don't like to forget to talk about something new means something ended. Maybe there's a transition happening in your life. We're saying goodbye to something. Thankfully, 2020. But when there's something new, we have to also acknowledge that something's ending. I want to tell a little story real quick. So I remember, I grew up playing sports, lots of different sports. I was an athlete because, you know, I had a lot of anger, and I thought that, you know, playing sports, I could get it out in like a good, positive way. So I was pretty rough out there. Soccer was my main sport. And one day, I got these gold soccer cleats. I mean, I was so excited. They were these new, brand new soccer cleats, and they were gold. I used to love getting new soccer cleats. I had like polka dots, bright red, but I had some gold soccer cleats on, and I thought I was like the coolest thing in the world. And I remember my first game in these new gold soccer cleats, I was getting to play on a new turf field. And if you're an athlete, this is like, whoo, because I grew up in Arizona. For some of you who don't know, that's a desert, which means I played soccer on dirt that tried to be grass. It was not really dirt, but it was not really grass, but it tried really hard. It was basically like if you slide tackled someone, your entire like body was just like scraped up and bleeding because you didn't really play with real grass. So to have a turf field with my brand new gold cleats, I was like, I love this. Something new to look forward to, new cleats, new turf. So here I am, it's a scrimmage game. I'm got the ball, I'm going up the field with my new cleats and my new turf. And all of a sudden, I get pushed from behind. And my brand new cleat got stuck in the brand new turf. And I fell forward, but my foot didn't come with me. So when I fell, inside my knee, my ACL went pop, pop, pop. And it completely ripped, shredded, and was actually inside out when they went in for surgery. And to some of you, that may not be a big deal. Maybe you've been through worse. But whatever it is that you're going through right now, maybe someone doesn't think it's a big deal. Maybe you've been in your room alone for a while. Maybe someone doesn't think it's that big of a deal. Maybe you're struggling in school and someone thinks that's not really a big deal. Maybe you're struggling with anxiety. Maybe you just lost somebody. but you're comparing a situation to things that are going on in the world, and maybe you're telling yourself it's not a big deal, or other people are convincing you it's not a big deal. But me, thinking it was a brand new day in those new cleats and that new turf, it actually was the end of something for me that day. That moment ended something for me. It ended what I thought would be a longer soccer career. So while I was saying hello to these new cleats and this new turf, I was actually saying goodbye to something that I worked so hard for, something that I cared so much about, something that I thought was my identity. Julia is an athlete. Whatever your name is, what would you say? You are a what? What are the words that you say about your identity? And what happens when those words end? When we don't get to continue to pursue them in the same way, or things look different? Because I became different after that. There's so much that became out of my control. See, what happens is sometimes when we go through difficult stuff, we don't want to face it. We don't want to deal with it. But you have to acknowledge and deal with things because you deserve to be seen and to process whatever process you are going through. However you are feeling right now, you're allowed to feel that way. So when I was still just 18 years old, I remember I went to 2 different funerals back to back. 2 different funerals back to back. I was 18 years old. And one of them was someone I loved so much. It was my cousin, and he passed away. He was 6 months older than me. He was 19 from an accidental overdose on drugs. And just right after that, I went to another funeral. And that funeral was of a friend of mine who got shot and killed at a party that I was on my way to. And so here I am in 2 different funerals. And I remember something happened at my friend's funeral. Afterwards, a couple of friends and I, we decided, it was late at night, we were exhausted from being emotional, we were just hanging out. It was 2 of my friends, and I have no idea what came over us. But we just went to another funeral, and we decided to turn on the computer and start typing in like penthouse apartments in New York. Don't know why we did this. And we started to see and imagine what life would be like if it was different. We just started to dream. And we saw all these things, got a little inspired, kind of forgot about all the things that were actually going on in that moment. And then they went to bed, and it was in the middle of the night, and I decided I'm going to go home. So I drove home in the middle of the night. And then when I got to my house, instead of going to sleep, I turned on the computer again. And I looked up colleges in New York. I looked up athletic directors. And then I went so far as to not just dream, but to do. To not just dream, but to do. And I ended up messaging a couple of athletic directors. And the next thing you knew, I was on a flight to New York from Arizona. And the next thing you knew, I was being offered a scholarship to play sports in college. Because even though I couldn't control what was going on around me, I kept dreaming. See, because sometimes when we go through some rough stuff, we start to deny feelings. We don't dream anymore. We deny feelings. We're like, no, it's okay, I don't feel that, or I don't want to be a bother. Or you know what, maybe somebody else has it worse, so how I feel doesn't matter. But I have some stories I want to share with you of other high school students that I've worked with, and these are their words, their handwriting. And I just want to share these with you because I don't know where you're watching this from, but I want you to know that you're not alone. And we can't be together. I can't hear your stories right now, but I know you have them. And they deserve to be seen and heard. So continue to keep showing up and saying, you know what, no matter what's happening around me, I deserve to be able to deal with what I'm going through. I have the ability to face what I feel and process this whole process of how crazy this world is right now. Because your life is valuable and you deserve it. So here are just some stories that students have written about things that they've struggled with. I was struggling because no one knows I'm feeling lost. I'm unsure about the future. Are you unsure about your future right now? I know I am. And just last night, we saw our country again, just so much division and hate. Where we're supposed to feel safe, we're supposed to feel united. And with COVID, with lockdowns, with social distancing, the future looks so uncertain. How can we plan for a future right now? But I believe you can. I believe you can. I'm supposed to be strong for everyone around me. Have you ever felt like maybe you couldn't say anything because you needed to be tough? Like staying silent was actually showing your strength? Because that's what this card feels like it's saying right here. It says, I was convinced no one would care to check on me while I cried every single day in a locked, dark room. I'll read one more. I was struggling through anxiety, depression, suicidal thoughts. I was feeling hopeless, trapped, and alone. I was needing anyone to ask if I was okay. I was staying silent because I was scared and didn't know what to say or how. So if you're like me, sometimes you don't always know what to say. But I will tell you that when I had to really face the reality that one of my dreams was ending, it may not have been a big deal to the world, but it was a big deal to me. My soccer career was ending. Julia, as that athlete, was ending at that time. And when I had to face that, I didn't know what to say. But I didn't stop dreaming. The world can take a lot from us, but they can't take our dreams. And when I allowed myself to dream again, I found something. I found writing. I found words. I didn't know it at first that I loved it so much, but I allowed something new to happen when something ended. I allowed something new to happen in my life, even though I maybe would have preferred that thing from never ending. And I started writing, I started journaling, I started doing writing exercises, and I started writing poetry, then I started performing poetry, then I wrote a book, then I wrote a master's thesis, then a PhD dissertation, and I write for content, and I write things that I say to you right now, but I found something. I found that I didn't need to stop dreaming, even though I didn't like what was going on around me. I didn't need to stop dreaming, even though I did not like what I saw around me. And I would do anything to have my cousin here with me, to have him back. But even though I don't like the situation, even now, I didn't stop dreaming, and I would not be here today, I would not be using my voice if that didn't happen to me. If I didn't lose someone I loved so much, I would have never started speaking and using my voice to maybe help someone else feel less alone, to maybe help let someone know that you deserve to be here, that you belong, that you are worthy, that there is value in who you are, and we need you in this world. But what happens is if we don't see our own worth, we won't invest in ourselves, and we will stop dreaming. We will deny our feelings. We will push them down. We will suppress them, and we will not face how we feel. But if we don't face how we feel, we are underestimating how powerful we are. Because it's not pain we need to avoid. No, it's not pain. Pain is neutral. It's like if you're in a car, pain is neutral. But if you push on the gas, you drive yourself forward with that pain. Some of us, we like to press the brake. We don't like to go anywhere because it's too hard to face that pain. But I guarantee you have been through some rough stuff. I just know even what's going on in the world, that you have been through some tough stuff you didn't deserve, stuff you cannot control. But what you do with that, you can allow it to drive you forward, or you can have it hold you back. You can let it drive you forward, or you can let it hold you back. For me, I started letting it destroy me for a while, but then I realized, I woke up and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something with this pain. I'm not going to let the pain have the last word. I'm not going to let the anger have the last word. I'm not going to let the sadness, the frustration have the last word. I'm going to rewrite my story. And I wouldn't be here if I did not believe that in one single moment of realization, that we can start to rewrite our stories. I wouldn't be here if I didn't believe that. I wouldn't be here if I wasn't living proof of that. To not think you would make it alive to see your 20s, and then to be here right now. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but that's because I didn't stop dreaming. I didn't stop dreaming, and I started to face anything that I felt, even if it hurt. And then I would allow that to drive me to want to make a difference, to want to do better. And maybe that's not you. Maybe you are really processing your feelings. Maybe you're really being open about what's going on, and maybe you're not keeping it to yourself. Maybe you're not numbing it or denying it. But maybe we're dismissing some feelings of other people in our life. Maybe it's our family. Maybe it's a friend of ours who's trying to tell you that their life experiences, they're facing discrimination because of the color of their skin, or because their sex and gender, because of the background that they have. Maybe someone in your life is trying to tell you that they're struggling, and we're dismissing it, saying it's not that big a deal. Because we say it to ourselves, but we also can say it to other people. We say it's not that big a deal. Tough enough. It's not really a problem. There are worse things. And we dismiss people's feelings. And when we do that, whether we're denying our own or dismissing someone else's, that creates division within us and externally as well. And you can see it. The adults in this world right now are living proof of what happens when you dismiss and you deny. We get divided. I don't know if there's more division that could happen right now in our world, but us adults, we're not doing a great job showing you that we don't need to deny our feelings. We don't need to dismiss other people's feelings. We can continue to say, I deserve to feel and face this, to ask for help if I need it, and that person deserves to be acknowledged and affirmed for what they're feeling as well. And that's how we start to move forward in unification, but we can't have that if we're dividing because we're denying, we're dismissing each other. But the biggest thing that I want you to know today is that whatever it is that you are going through or you are feeling, you cannot stop dreaming. When everything around you falls apart, you cannot stop dreaming. And I mean dream while you are wide awake, while your eyes are open. Put some pen to the paper and say, I am, I can be. If I could, I would. One day I'm going to. And ask yourself, who am I really? I believe every single person watching this is a leader. I don't need to teach you how to be a leader. Nobody needs to. You are a leader. It's what kind of leader that you will be is what you get to decide right now. What kind of leader? Because there are leaders that put a negative impact in this world. But what kind of leader will you be? So if you are a leader, which I believe you are, ask yourself, what kind do I want to be? Do I want to be genuine? Do I want to be a hard-working leader? Do I want to be a true leader? I know for me, I want to be a leader who never stops dreaming. Because dreams helped me survive things that I don't know how I did. Dreams helped me imagine a life that I wanted to create. A life that I didn't see. The things I wanted, I never saw. I never saw people who looked like me doing this kind of work. I never saw people who looked like me getting master's degrees and doctorate degrees. I never saw people who looked like me writing books. I didn't see who I wanted to be, but that didn't mean I would stop dreaming. Because once you start dreaming, then you start doing. Once you start dreaming, then you start doing, because you recognize you deserve to be seen and to be heard. You're not just here for no reason. There's a purpose to your life and to your story. And I don't want you to take it from me. I want to bring up one of your students, one of your own, and just help us out with this transition, because I'm going to wipe this mic, but I'm going to bring them up right now, and I'm just going to ask you to share. This is a little impromptu. She doesn't know I'm going to ask her. I'm going to ask you if you want to just stay right there. What's your name? Sophia. Wherever you're at, just say, what's up, Sophia? If there's a chat, say, what's up, Sophia? Say, true, Sophia. Sophia, so I'm going to ask you, if I could, I would. And you're going to fill in the blank. Okay, so I'm going to let you think about that. If I could, I would. Okay, thinking about that? You good? Tell me when you're good. Oh yeah, go ahead, keep thinking about that. And then, Sophia, I'm going to ask you, and I want all of you, if you have something to write with, I want you to do it too. If I could, I would. What would you do if you could do anything? If no one was telling you you couldn't, or you shouldn't, or you don't deserve what you really want, what would you do if you could do anything? Dream a little bit. Be crazy. Wild dreams. Dream. Okay? You ready for your dream? Anything, Sophia. It could be something realistic or super unrealistic. I'm going to wipe this down. I'm going to hand it to you, okay?
That's a hard question for me. When I think of like if I could, I would. I don't think of like personal goals for myself. I think like if I could, like I would do stuff for my family. Like I'd take stuff that I could. Like I'd do stuff to take stress away from them. Like that's something that I would do. Like I can't think of anything personal right now that I would do. I mean, I am, but I don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to ask you one more question. I don't know if you can hear me. I'll try and shout. I'm going to ask you. If I had to ask you, fill in the blank, I am blank. You can say I am resilient, I am strong, I am powerful, I am intelligent, I'm funny, I'm gifted, I'm talented. Anything that comes to mind that's positive about who you are.
I would say I'm persistent.
Ooh, say that again.
I would say that I'm persistent.
Put your hand down, pull that up. Chest up, head up, say I am persistent.
I am persistent.
That means you don't give up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. You could give her a little shout out in the chat. Thank you so much. Sophia, thank you so much. That was beautiful. And I think that's one thing that we need to recognize that's in our power right now is our power is our perspective. And our mind is like a math equation. And I don't like math, so this is a bad analogy, but it's like a math equation. You have to have a lot of strategies. You got to work at it to figure it out. Your mind matters. Your mind matters. What language does your mind speak? Are you the one who's telling yourself you don't deserve this, you don't belong, you're afraid so you're not going to do anything, you're feeling sad and you don't deserve to tell anybody about it, you don't think anyone will care? What is the language in your mind? Or are you saying stuff like what Sophia just said? I am persistent, because that's a language that your mind gets used to. You have to take the power of your perspective in control right now. Own the power we have. We can't control racism in America to an extent. We can't control political division in America to an extent. We can't control a global pandemic. But what we can do is own the power we do have, and that is our perspective. And your perspective is your mind, and your mind is a machine. It is powerful. So find out the tools you need to get your mind speaking a language that drives you forward. Because we're not trying to avoid feelings, but what we need to do is allow those feelings to fuel us, to go forward, to make a difference, to rewrite our stories, to remind the world that we are here, that we belong. And I would love to share with you a new poem that I just wrote this weekend. And I'm going to share it with you right now. And it's called You Are Worth Being Seen. You are worth being seen wherever you are at. So here we go. You are worth being seen, despite what anyone, even the madness inside of your mind, will say. And that pain you feel, you don't have to deny is real. But pain is not a place we have to stay. We get a say in how our story gets rewritten. So don't deny yourself the dreams that keep you up at night. We can't control what happens to us, but we can decide if we come equipped to fight. With words as our weapons, words written, spoken, praised, and prayed. Every last syllable gets laid between your voice and the choice we bear to lay everything out into the open, so long as you don't stop hoping. Believe you belong, because when we lose our sense of self-worth, we stop investing in our own value, and our value exchange creates a cultural change that changes stories. Even the ones stolen or lost. Every time you pull back, it will cost the generation behind you. So let your difference be what makes the difference, and get out of your own way. Speak everything that you are afraid to say. I want to thank you, Heritage High School, for having me again. I wish we were in person. I can't wait till the day that we are. But you can stay connected with me online. I'll be releasing a video for that just this next week. I would love love to hear from you. I would love to hear more of your story, and I want to know who you really are. So remember, you are a leader. What kind of leader do you want to be? Please stay connected with me. And if you're someone who you feel like you need help right now, I'm a part of an organization called Help Online. And you can always reach out to Help Online or giveadose.co. If you're having difficulty talking about just the racial things in America, you can go to giveadose.co. If you're needing some help with your mental health, you can go to Help Online. But please stay connected. Heritage High School, thank you so much. Stay true. Happy New Year. Keep dreaming.